Tucker is not the only person who is going after the NSA in defense of Tucker. Now, this one's more ambiguous. So, Bongino, I'm looking for a teepee for my bunghole. His video is titled, "Who do you believe, Tucker or NSA?" I believe the NSA, the men and women of the NSA who have taken an oath to protect the country, and do so on a daily basis, pretty regularly. And for all the military puffery that you hear from Bongino and Don Jr. and these assholes, all of them would sell any of those people down the river for Tucker Carlson. So, yeah, just Bongholio. Bongholio. I'm looking for a teepee for my bunghole. Bongino.
A big deal.
Okay, so this is a big deal.
Again, I don't have any inside info from Tucker. We don't.
Neither does he.
You know, we work at Fox, but we don't work together. We were
No, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know it.
in different locations.
We got to look at him, Rose. We can't look away. Don't worry about it. Fear not. Bongino.
But I'm increasingly growing concerned, folks, that we are turning into a massive surveillance state, no different than
Yeah, that's what you're worried
the
about.
Chinese Communist Party. You can take that for whatever it is.
Blather, and because if other criminals get busted, that's America. Fuck yeah. But if your criminals get busted, then all of a sudden the whole, I don't know, this is overreach. This is like, you know, we support law enforcement. We support the door kickers, man. They're on our side. That's what Don Jr. always says. The door kickers are on our side. Meanwhile, the door kickers in this circumstance showed up at Rudy Giuliani's house at 6 o'clock in the morning and knocked on his door, entered politely, served him with a warrant, got all the items. They came there, were polite and professional the entire time they were there. And after they left, Rudy Giuliani lied about them and said that they practically broke down his door. So, liars.
Hyperbole, I don't care. I'm not trying to impress people or cater to the Washington Post op-ed
How would that
column. If the Tucker Carlson story, which he alleges that he's being spied on by the NSA.
Yeah, and you would know, wouldn't you? There was a guy, like, in my backyard. Like, I went outside, like, hey, where are you going? And he had, like, an NSA badge on him. I was like, totally, I'm being spied on, guys.
Is true, then, folks, we are descending into Chinese Communist Party surveillance state madness at a rate even I didn't expect. And believe me, I'm a pessimist when it comes to the government.
So he made up a story. You buy it wholesale. You don't work together, and you don't have any anecdotal information or any direct evidence of this. But you're going to call out the entirety of the National Security Agency as a bunch of traitors who want to turn us into China because Tucker Carlson said something on his TV show.
And the saddest part is the media loves it. The media is doing nothing about this. The media has an attitude now that we love government spying as long as they're spying on Republicans and conservatives.
No. The media is going, this asshole is lying. The NSA is not spying on him. It's not that we love it, like, oh yeah, shit. Get him, NSA. What's to get? And if there is something to get, that's a conversation he needs to have with the American people. There might be some stuff that leaks out where I said, you know, fuck America, and I'm done with this dump, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, normally it goes against the whole raison d'etre of the Tucker Carlson show. But nobody's saying that. Everybody's just saying Tucker is full of shit.
So I covered the story yesterday. Tucker had a follow-up last night on his show where they
with even less information
called the NSA, Paul Nakasone, the head of the NSA, and they started asking questions. Are you spying on me, Tucker Carlson? Because you, according to Tucker, they have emails of his that nobody else has, and someone read him the emails.
Someone read you emails from the NSA. So this person, the pro-Trump person who was just fired for leaking information, is that who we're talking about? Is that what that was?
Here was Tucker last night on this, and I want you to pay very close attention to the end, and I want you to ask yourself this question. One, is he being spied on? The evidence seems pretty strong at this point.
Oh, no. There's another option in this situation, Bongino, that you might not be thinking about, which is the NSA might be spying on someone who is a danger to this country, and Tucker Carlson is pen pals with them. That would also be another way that this happens. These, you know, the Ted Bundy's girlfriend's angle.
And And second, if he's not being spied on, then why can't the NSA issue a categorical denial?
Because they're the NSA?
Check this out.
Just minutes before air tonight, the NSA sent us an infuriatingly dishonest formal statement.
It's infuriating to my case. I made this whole story up, and then they write something that totally contradicts it.
An entire paragraph of lies written purely for the benefit of the intel community's lackeys at CNN and MSNBC.
The lackeys at CNN and NBC and MSNBC? What? You mean the ones just laughing at you for thinking you're important?
All those people they hire.
Whistleblower to Tucker, you're being monitored.
With the titles on the screen.
Uh-huh.
He also tweeted it out a few minutes ago.
Right. In case any of the lackeys at CNN, weren't checking their email.
Now, last night on the show, we made a very straightforward claim. NSA has read my private emails without my permission. Period.
Well, no. No, that's you said they're spying on you.
That's what we said. Tonight's statement from the NSA does not deny that. Instead, it comes with this non sequitur. In part, quote.
Non sequitur? No. So this would not be a non sequitur. A non sequitur would be it wouldn't mention you at all. It would say, I wonder if, why do people see pink elephants when they're drunk? Is it because rosy cheeks affect your eyesight? What are you talking about? Exactly.
Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
Right. Well, because you don't have any intelligence. Why would you be an intelligence target? Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target for anyone with intelligence.
Okay, glad to know. But the question remains, did the Biden administration read my personal emails?
Uh-oh.
That's the question that we asked directly to NSA officials when we spoke to them about 20 minutes ago in a very heated conversation. Did you read?
Uh-huh. My question is, maybe they didn't get them that way. Maybe it was when you mailed that package of evidence to California instead of bringing it with you and it disappeared and then showed up.
My emails. And again,
yeah, they called Mike NSA.
They refused to say.
Yeah, like the NSA would?
Again and again. And then they refused even to explain why they couldn't answer that simple question.
Because they're the NSA.
We can't tell you, and we won't tell you why we can't tell you.
Yeah, that sounds like the NSA. That sounds like NSA speak.
My emails.
What was in them? I mean, if you're worried about them seeing them, Tucker, what were you saying? Who were you emailing that you're even nervous about the NSA seeing them? Nobody cares. I swear to God, this is just because something's going to leak and he's going to say the NSA leaked these out.
And the message was clear. We can do whatever
this is a pre-attack.
We want. We can read your personal texts. We can read your personal emails. We can send veiled threats your way to brush you back if we don't like your politics.
Sorry, the NSA is now threatening you? What's a veiled threat? Did they veil? Was there a veiled threat in the "we don't give a shit about you" tweet?
We can do anything.
Yes, we can do anything. So why the fuck would we bother with you?
We're our own country, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. We're in charge. You're not.
You do realize they don't give a shit about Tucker Carlson, right? And if there might be someone they do give a shit about, and Tucker Carlson is a little too chatty with them and is aware of it.
Folks, having worked inside the government as a GS 1811 federal agent myself, I can tell you my biggest fear is big government. No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, I agree. Like, China has a big government. Russia, for all of its diminutiveness as a country, has a big government. The Saudis, from an intelligence community standard, they have a big government. And assholes like Dan Bongino and Tucker Carlson and Grover Norquist have always been trying to shrink America's government so small that Russia could drown it in a bathtub.
Big, expansive, uncontrollable, non-civil liberties respecting government is my biggest fear, hands down. There's not even a silver medalist.
There's not even a sliver medalist? But
if Tucker Carlson isn't being spied on by the NSA, then how?
he isn't.
How is someone at the NSA reading his emails?
Well, you presume that they are. You're presuming his evidence based on what he said. Clearly, Tucker Carlson is trying to head off a scandal that is coming his way, and he's trying to make it look like a government attack.
Or a whistleblower reading his emails? How?
Well, we don't know. And one of the reasons is it kind of falls into that whole Hunter Biden laptop bullshit. You do realize, by the way, that he didn't read what was in those emails or say who they were to. These are emails between me and my wife. These are emails, a whistleblower told me that emails between me and my employer have been read. No. He won't even bring up to whom the emails allegedly go and what they allegedly contain that would be a breach of his security, which would lead me to believe that his concern, the reason he's omitting that information, is because he thinks that that person is reasonable to be on the NSA's radar, and he's a little too handsy with them.
I'm going to explain to you why and what I think is going on here. It's
great. I'm sure we'll all be just overwhelmed with the intellect.
Something I've addressed, Joe.
No, it's so.
You may remember this because we've been on it for a long time. It's something I've addressed now for probably close to 5 years.
You mean right about during the Trump administration when he was trying to basically make everybody who ran all these agencies his own personal Roy Cohn?
Because I know exactly what they're doing if this is happening.
Sucker's spoiled 5-year-old kid with I don't understand shit look on his face. Well, that's his general idea. Yes, he's mansplaining us.
And how they're doing it. In fairness to the NSA,
In fairness to the NSA, I don't know shit about this, and I am taking Tucker Carlson's word.
Put up their statement on the screen if you wouldn't mind. If you're watching on Rumble, you can read along at home, rumble.com/Bongino.
Which is, yeah. And by the way, please say electronic.
I'll read it for you.
Great.
The NSA issued this statement. On June 28th, Tucker Carlson alleged that the NSA had been monitoring his electronic communications and planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. They say this allegation is untrue.
No. Well, you're now paraphrasing what they're saying? I guess let him paraphrase.
Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency, and the NSA has never had any plans to try and take his program off the air. NSA, pay attention to this part. NSA has a foreign intelligence mission. We target foreign powers to generate insights on foreign activities that could harm the United States. With limited exceptions, e.g. an emergency, NSA.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to mix up. I mean, honestly.
May not target a U.S. citizen.
No, NASA definitely can. Space Force!
Without a court order that explicitly authorizes the targeting. You may be reading this if you're a liberal, probably, or a media person who's fundamentally uncurious. And you may say to yourself, well, Dan, that sounds like a denial to me. Notice this line, though. Tucker Carlson has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
Well, that's because Tucker Carlson's claim was specifically that they were monitoring his electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take his show off the air. That they were doing it on purpose. They're addressing his charge directly. He's not saying they're monitoring somebody else and I got caught in the web and they're going to try and leak what they found. He didn't say that. Because if he did that, he would have to admit that whoever he is talking to in these emails, allegedly, if they even exist at all, even if this is, let's give them the whole Tucker Carlson version of the Hunter Biden laptop narrative, give them everything that they're arguing, he would have to admit who he was emailing that it got on the NSA's radar, and he's not, because he's afraid to tell you who he was emailing in that circumstance. So Tucker Carlson, to be abundantly clear, made a charge that they are monitoring our electronic communications, meaning him and everybody at the show, I would think, because he says it in terms of the context of the show, and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. And they addressed his concerns specifically. We don't give a shit about this guy, and we are never going to try and take his show off the air. What we do the rest of the time has nothing to do with him.
And then it says NSA has a foreign intelligence mission.
Right. So who was Tucker emailing?
Well, Harmeet Dillon, who is a very talented lawyer and a friend, Harmeet Dillon was on with Tucker Carlson afterwards. She is a brilliant lawyer.
And the first sign of a brilliant lawyer is that they just take whatever you're saying at face value and follow you down a rabbit hole of freak out. Yeah.
And Harmeet Dillon explained a couple of things that, again, I've been talking about in this show for a long time.
Yes, that America is a danger to the world, and it'd be better if you lived in Russia because it would be safer for you there.
When I ran for office, ladies and gentlemen, you can look it up. It's not virtue signaling or, hey, look at me stuff. I hate that crap.
Yeah, you definitely. I mean, it's like the kind of thing some asshole would do, like putting his name all over the background, like multiple times. Like you know, who does that? What kind of hey, look at me bullshit would you do if your entire show, even though you have, I guess, a producer or somebody else who's sometimes there, and they exist, you talk to them, but they're never on camera. It's only you on camera. It's only this on the background, and not only is the background full of your name over and over again, but you've also got it on the little cardboard cutout box around. And by the way, points to you for covering up the mic stand because it's ugly with something like that. I have no problem with, but it's got your name on it. It's the same logo that's on the back, but you know, no, look at me, look at me.
When I ran for office as a Republican, I ran against the Patriot Act, despite the fact that George W. Bush, a Republican, was the one who signed the Patriot Act. I felt strongly at the time, and I feel today, that it has expanded government surveillance powers in a dangerous way through things like business records provisions that could be used to spy on anyone for pretty much any reason.
Well, no. I mean, obviously, they have to have foreign financial entanglements with countries that are on the list, but go ahead.
I never liked the Patriot Act.
Yeah, even though that has nothing to do with this. I never liked the Patriot Act. You know what I never liked egregious rules around swimming holes either. And both of them have everything to do with the conversation that we're having about Tucker Carlson because he's making this shit up.
Patriot Act gave the government powers it doesn't need. You want to spy on someone? Get a warrant.
They do. But there's also an emergency clause, like when cops don't have, if they hear screaming inside, they don't have to wait for a warrant to go in and save somebody. And he knows this. It's the same thing. It's this so stupid.
It's called the Fourth Amendment. It's not hard. Well, Harmeet Dillon talks about a couple things here. She mentions the 2-hop rule or the hop rule, where when you're spying on someone in the NSA, not only you get their stuff overseas, but you
Whoa. When you're spying on someone overseas, you what?
Can get people that they talk to and then people those people talk to.
Okay, so it's 2 generations down. So Tucker Carlson is talking to somebody who's talking to somebody.
What's been called the 2-hop rule. The hop.
It definitely. Yeah, it's when you use 2 different kinds of hops to make beer. I get it.
Hop rule. So if I'm talking to Guy and I'm a target, they can target Guy and then whoever Guy talks to as well.
Yeah, it's how we do RICO. It's how Interpol works. Yeah, if you're 2 generations, 2 phone calls away from a terrorist, for example, and
listen to Harmeet.
They still have to get a warrant.
Talk about that. And second, again, something we've mentioned for years now. I want you to listen to when she talks about this reverse targeting. How, the NSA said in its statement, we have a foreign intelligence mission. I'll tie this up for you in a minute. You're going to want to miss.
Oh, boy. Wait till the end.
Well, what if you wanted to target Tucker and Tucker talked to someone in a foreign government and then you claim with air quotes, well, we're targeting foreign intelligence, the person Tucker talked to, but then you rope Tucker into it too.
Huh? So they want Tucker so bad, the NSA, who's not above just stealing your emails anyways. They would just do it. They just monitor it because they want to. They're going to wait until you call someone that's a national threat.
That's called reverse targeting. Listen to Harmeet Dillon eloquently explain this.
Yeah, you know what we really want is the street dealers. So let's get a warrant for Scarface.
Tucker's show last night. Check this out.
If you are able to find out more information about this, I think what you're
there is none
going to find.
If you're able to make up more information about this, Tucker,
is that you are being described as incidental. So the gathering.
That's how I would describe them.
Of your information is going to be because they're really focusing on somebody else. But I want to really.
Who's that person? Tucker, who are you emailing?
Break that down. When you look at the Carter Page violations, for example, the lies to the FISA court, does anybody think that the national security apparatus was trying to find out Carter Page's activities and communications?
No, they knew he was a courier. They weren't drafting from to Trump on that. They knew he was the courier for the Trump org. They had pictures with him and Papadopoulos at meetings. Yeah, they knew.
Communications? No. The trick is, if they can get a surveillance order on an individual, what they're able to do is scoop up all of the communications of all of the people who reach out to that person, text them, even without any predicate. And so that's really where it's at.
Did you hear it? She just described what I've been.
She just described a fantasy web of spy intrigue that she pulled out of her ass based on something that Tucker pulled out of his ass. And now you're pulling something out of your ass because you're a child. Look, over-spying by governments is a problem. That's certainly an issue and worth talking about. But let's not... Can we not pretend that that's genuine at all? That they're not just fucking making this up? That Tucker's making this up? And she's creating hypotheticals on what Tucker made up that are intentionally crafted to make him look like an innocent victim to some major government overreach, as if the government overreach in that situation actually exists. Let's be abundantly clear. For whatever moments where the Chelsea Mannings and the reality winners of the world have discovered things that need to be dealt with, and Donald Rumsfeld and stress positions and all that kind of stuff, beyond that everyone else in there and around there is this kind of egregious, violent, villainous, like volcano layer supervillain all the time because of those folks, for the record. And that anytime somebody like that wants to make up a story where they're the victim for it, it sort of plants the idea in there that, oh yeah, shit like that happens all the time. It doesn't. It does not. And saying it does is just fart air meant to cover the fact that something's gonna come out that Tucker Carlson said to someone, and it's not coming from the NSA or somebody leaking it from there. He's gonna run up against a run-of-the-mill someone outing him for being a white nationalist with that dude who used to run his show. And that they've been going back and forth, and this shit's gonna come out, and it's gonna be, Holocaust denial or some nonsense that absolutely tracks with him hiring that dude who was on the white nationalist websites as his head writer. And it's gonna come out, and he's gonna go, the NSA targeted me. Right, that's what this is.
Warning you about for years.
You have not.
When you give these entities the ability...
You didn't give a shit about giving entities power when Trump was in charge.
...ability to scoop up domestic data, they will use it. They will use it.
Yeah, that's why there's hundreds of thousands of Americans in Guantanamo.
This reverse targeting is a very big deal.
Yes, when it happens, it's a very big deal. It is not happening to Tucker Carlson. She made that up. If you could find out more information about this, I think you'll find there is no information to be found. He's fucking lying.
Yes, the NSA has...
He's a liar. She's creating puffery on his lies, and you are going, see what she said about the lies that she said?
It's a foreign intelligence mission, and an important one. But when in the realm of that foreign intelligence mission, they are scooping up data...
From innocent Americans who just happen to be calling Sergei Lavrov every Wednesday with a translator present.
When you give people that kind of data, access to it will be abused. If this example isn't strong enough, Guy and Joe, you got to stop me because it's important.
Yeah, don't show Guy and Joe, by the way. This is your show. And you don't like that kind of puffery.
The NSA scoop, let's say you wanted to target Tucker Carlson.
Nobody does.
I'm not saying that happened here.
Yes, you are. You are inferring. You are allowing for the inference thereof. You are implying explicitly that that's what's going on.
I'm just giving you an example. But
No. You are insisting that that is what's going on, and you are creating an example as a way to buttress your insistence. Fuck you, Dan Bongino, you punk. How did I end up in Geraldo Rivera's camp.
Because it has happened in the Spygate case, and we know that.
No.
If you want to target Tucker, forget everything else. You just
Just pretend Tucker Carlson is actually meaningful.
that's your goal.
Yeah, you got nothing better to do. ISIS has been handled. Al Qaeda isn't resurging. There's not, far right groups in Germany coordinating with right wing, racial extremists here in the United States. There's not Russian troll farms creating events for nutcases to go to, or trying to foment lone wolves all over the country to destabilize. That's for whatever reason. It's a Wednesday. Everybody's napping.
And then Tucker takes a trip overseas and talks to a foreign leader.
Just a foreign leader. Leader of what? The GRU?
Somebody sits around a table and goes, hey, I got an idea. We can scoop up this foreign leader's emails, and they'll probably have emailed Tucker. And then we can read Tucker's stuff too. Genius. And then we'll tell him we were targeting the foreigner. Well, did that happen?
No, it did not. If it's happening at all, and I doubt that it is, it's a direct linkage.
Well, I've got an idea.
I got an idea too. Tucker Carlson and his old head writer, who was kicked to the curb for being a far right, ghost posting, anti-Semitic and racist shit on websites, but that Tucker's really close to and hired him as his head writer for that purpose, is talking to far right racist groups in Germany and other countries and coordinating with those groups in the United States, and Tucker chit-chats with that fucker all the time.
Keith, throw up that tweet by Tucker if you wouldn't mind. Does this have something to do with it, folks? And how the NSA and others may allegedly have gotten a hold of Tucker Carlson's emails? Here's a March 16th tweet from Tucker Carlson.
In El Salvador?
We are live from El Salvador. We just finished sitting down with President Bukele for our new Tucker Carlson original series coming to Fox Nation.
No, but it's a great way to do an ad using his most recent lie and his bloviating bullshit to sell the new Tucker Carlson Originals series.
There were many newsworthy moments we'll share tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox News. Folks, take the time and date down. You heard it here first. Is that what happened?
No, it's not. And thanks for we're a level 2 hype train. Don't forget to subscribe, twitch.com/AlSparks, or become a member on YouTube. That's a great way to help the show. Or patreon.com/AlSparks. Hit the like, the subscribe, thumbs up, super chat, bits, anything you can do to help. And if you can't afford to do anything right now, it's okay.
Was the NSA and other entities looking into Tucker Carlson and figured his conversation with a foreign leader in El Salvador off U.S. soil might be a perfect opportunity to get their mitts on Tucker's emails and
No, I would argue, and the SC alerts thing it's a lovely little noise, but I'm going to turn it down. I would argue that my case actually makes more sense, that far-right groups in Germany and other countries that are racial white supremacist groups are still in contact with his head writer. And if you're doing a two-hop, then his emails with that guy are what are going to get him in trouble. And that somebody else, wholly unrelated to the NSA, also has access to those emails, including that dude who's no longer working, who might want to sell those things to some other organization to make money and it would definitely end up with Tucker Carlson show getting shut down, but that guy might get a good payday from a big news organization.
communications? Somebody has them. Somebody read the emails and text to Tucker Carlson, and obviously Tucker didn't send them to the NSA.
No, nobody. Obviously, you're making this up. Again, he remember when he said before, I'm not saying this happened. He just said it happened. He is literally saying that these emails and these texts have actually been read by the NSA and that they weren't sent.
And the recipient didn't
Thanks,
either,
Sally.
according to Tucker's story. So
According to Tucker's story. So, which is bullshit.
how did they get them?
They didn't get them. Tucker's making it up because Tucker knows that somebody in the chain of, in the email chain that he was attached to is going to release the shit that he was talking to his ex-head writer about, who is directly talking to white supremacist groups in Europe, just like Steve Bannon is.
Sounds familiar, dude. Yeah, you know.
Doesn't it, Joe? Sounds like the
Yeah.
Spygate
Yeah, it sounds like the same bullshit story you made up before.
case you and I only talked about for 3 years with Carter Page, Mike Flynn, and others.
My man.
Yeah, no. Mike Flynn and others. Sorry, no. Mike Flynn admitted to lying.
Oh yeah, they were talking to Mike Flynn was talking to the Russian ambassador. But don't worry, we weren't listening to Flynn. We were.
No, they were listening to the Russian ambassador, and then they unmasked who kept calling him even beyond his regular job. And of course, what he actually got busted for was his conversations with the Turkish guy.
Listening to the Russian ambassador, and it was just an accident. It was incidental that we scooped up Mike Flynn. Joe, total accident. Total accident. How did we
okay.
get Flynn? Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, then why didn't, if Mike Flynn wasn't doing anything wrong, and in the context of his job, he was just talking to to Sergei Lavrov, why didn't he just admit to it then?
We were just listening to the Russian ambassador, and Flynn hopped on the phone.
No, he did. He just hopped on. Who else was on the line then?
Right.
Right. You know? Thanks, Mark.
Right. It is. The intelligence. He was not an intelligence target. Can you put that up again? Put up.
Yeah. Most mid-level dealers aren't the intelligence target of a RICO, intel gathering effort.
The NSA statement again. He was very carefully worded. Notice it doesn't say.
Yes, it's very carefully worded to directly address Tucker Carlson's accusations.
Hey, we have not read Tucker Carlson's emails. It doesn't say that. He's got it up on the screen.
That's because that wasn't Tucker Carlson's accusation. Tucker Carlson's accusation was that they were monitoring our electronic communications and is planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air. They directly, in a tweet with 240 characters, directly address his accusation. Specifically, because he made a specific accusation. He didn't go, how in the world do they get my emails? The accusation, he said, was they are monitoring our electronic communications. Monitoring ours. Which, by the way, if the ours then is supposed to be Tucker and whoever they're actually monitoring, then he considers himself part of a clique with whoever that person is. It isn't just, well, I wouldn't consider the president of El Salvador. Hi. What? Hey, love you. Yelling at Tucker Carlson. Ish. Bongino. Love you. My girl walked in. You can't not say hi. You can't.
Again, it says Tucker has never been an intelligence target of the agency.
That's because that was Tucker's allegation. Dum-dum. Tucker specifically said, and it's right there, monitoring our electronic communications. Not caught up some of our electronic, they got some of my emails when they were monitoring somebody else. And he won't say that because then he'd have to tell you who the person he believes they are monitoring is, and people would go, holy shit, why are you talking to that guy a lot?
Well, according to the agency and the FBI, either was Mike Flynn. Remember their statement? We weren't targeting Flynn. It was an accident. We were targeting the Russian ambassador.
It wasn't an accident either. It was suspicious.
Oh, the language.
Yeah, it matters. It matters specifically. Like, if you're just making shit up on the Dan Bongino show, then language doesn't matter. You can say, I'm not saying this is what happened, and then a moment later literally say, this is what happened. But, you know, when you're an actual organization that is crucial to the safety and security of the United States of America, you kind of, parsing words does matter.
Joe, how many times have we heard this story? We've
Well, twice today.
heard this story before. Now you wonder.
Well, no, you've heard the story before, and you are pretending that this story is like that story. See, that's how that works too. You like, I know my neighbor's house got broken into. Let's do this we'll work with this. Person legitimately, neighbor's house got broken into. Didn't really happen, but for the sake of this argument, I know that my neighbor's house got broken into. And they stole paintings. I don't have any expensive paintings, but let's work with it. Let's say I have some expensive paintings. And I know that they stole some expensive paintings from that house. And then I take some of my own paintings and I sell them on the black market, like under the table to somebody who wanted them. And then I smash a window and claim that my paintings were stolen, and I get the insurance money for them. So I double my money. And I tell you, look, this has happened before. My neighbor's house got robbed. That was a real robbery. That was a real concern. They didn't rob my house, though. I made that shit up. And I'm using the fact that my neighbor's house was robbed to cover the fact that I'm a criminal. See how that works? See how that works, Dan Bongino? See that? Okay. God damn.
Why me as a former 1811 Fed myself, I'm terrified of this stuff. I've seen the power of the government up front.
Well, that's because you cannot be trusted with that power. So, of course, you have all the awful thoughts.
Close and personal.
Guys, the shit I tried to get away with when I was running security, and the guys I worked with who I picked for my team were the biggest scumbags. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them, but...
You have the power to take someone's life and freedom away. Even the president doesn't have that power. This is a big...
Well, sure he does. He actually has power over the NSA.
Deal. Are we abusing this stuff?
No, we're not. You're making it up.
Again, I don't know if Tucker's story is true.
It isn't. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. Tucker's lying. Tucker's lying because someone's about to leak emails that have him talking to a white nationalist. I've just settled on that. That's as logical as we would need from this story. This is what it reeks of this.
However, I do know if it was Brian Stelter making those allegations and the president was Trump, that this would be a front page story all over the globe.
Yeah, but Brian Stelter would not be making that allegation because it didn't happen anymore. But Tucker Carlson can make shit up, and you and everybody else will just pepper it all over the airwaves.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Well, yeah, I mean, make up your own fantasy story and like, dude, if dragons attacked the White House and Trump was president and they laid eggs in the Capitol dome and took a shit on the lawn, it would be front page news. Guaranteed. Yes, good point. He does believe Tucker Carlson 100%.
But because it's a conservative, nobody cares.
Tucker Carlson is not a conservative.
Keep in mind, like I said, I have no relationship with Tucker.
Yes, you do. You work at the same network, and he's crucial to the bottom line of that network. You both work for Fox.
I've had like 2 conversations with him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You work with the network he's on. You have a business relationship with him.
This is not like, you're just backing up your boy. He's not my boy. We barely know each other.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you're a meathead, and he's pencil neck, and you'd probably put him in a headlock.
If this story was about Tucker Carlson or Chuck Todd, I'd be covering it with the same intensity.
No, you wouldn't.
Like I said,
again, Chuck Todd wouldn't make up a story like
I don't speak with forked tongue. I ran for office against the Patriot Act. You could go listen to the tapes from 10 years ago. This isn't new to me. Not one of these fake virtue signaling, new pseudo-libertarians who all of a sudden, when it was Trump, they didn't like the Patriot Act, but they loved it before. I've been there on the ground in
it's the other way around,
this
isn't it?
fight for a long time. Did the NSA use one of Tucker's trips overseas to grab his emails?
No.
It's a serious question.
No, it isn't. It is an in-serious question. Because not only does Tucker not make that allegation, Tucker, by the way, has a whistleblower has said that they are looking at your emails, that they're looking at his emails, specifically some emails. And Tucker knows this, apparently, because of his concern in his segment. And he didn't at any point bring up that my conversations with the president of El Salvador are part of those. Oh my God, what a douchebag. So boring. But anyways, that's the crux of the entire NSA back and forth. This will be a spiraling pile of bullshit, for the record, over the next couple of days, probably maybe through the weekend. Obviously, Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz are pushing this a lot to mainly cover their ass about January 6th. And of course, Matt Gaetz's upcoming legal issues where he's about to go through some things. And that you'll hear that through that time period. But after that, it'll go away. I mean, I'll just call it here. There is no there. And if anything does come out, he's going to, oh my God. if anything does come out about Tucker Carlson, it's going to be because somebody that he talks to all the time leaked emails, in their own momentary Project Veritas on that.